Hi there, I'm Luckie Daniels. I'm here to talk to you about African ancestry today. We're going to work to accomplish 5 things: the who, what, why, how, and where. Who? I'm Luckie Daniels. I'm a technology software manager. By day, I manage technology teams that deliver medical devices that save lives. But when I'm not managing technology teams, I'm focused on my ancestry. I've been a genealogist, which is a researcher of my family history, for over 30 years. And it's a passion that's very important to me because I didn't know a lot about my family history as a descendant of slaves. In 1992, I was losing my grandmother, and as she began to talk about our family history, I found that there were a lot of questions and I needed to know more. And so I began the process of researching our history. Why is this important? For African descendants of slaves, we don't have a lot of history. We didn't adopt a lot of history. We don't inherit history. And so we have to actively follow our history and research our past to learn more about our families. And so for me, this is a part of my story. It's a part of who I am. Katie, here to my left, this is my 4th grandmother, and understanding who Katie is helps me to understand who I am. When you talk about African ancestry and talk about this work, you really want to look at where the clues are. Like, how will we go about finding this information? The good news is that we now have technology to aid us, and that is going to make a huge difference in how we research today and how we'll research in the future. We use tools that are online, but we also use interviews and narratives from our friends, our family, our elders, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, newspapers, journals, Bibles. We look for information everywhere. It's like the detective work of your family history. It's important that we follow the clues. It's important that we ask a lot of questions because there are going to be a lot of unknowns. And for me, I've always become comfortable with the unknowns. I'm always very grateful as a descendant of slaves who did not necessarily have their history recorded. I'm excited when I find out anything about my family. I capture all of it. And then I keep going back, and I go back again and again to really find out the answers to the unanswered questions. And so you're going to need to put on a detective's hat. How? How will we go about doing it? We're going to use all the tools. We're going to start with paper. There are reports that you can print out. There are charts that you can use that make it easy to capture this information. It's not enough to answer the questions. You want to be able to document your findings because you're going to be using that research to build your family's history from now on. And then we're going to turn to the technology because that's the gift. There are a few resources that we can look at today. And I know you won't believe it, but you're going to find information. You're going to find relatives. You're going to find out where they lived and how they worked. You're going to find out about your family history. And the more that you do that, the longer that you do that, the more detailed that you are in doing that, the richer your history will become. So for me, this was the saving grace for my family. Because when I started researching, my family had 2 sentences that were a part of our history, and that's all we knew. And now we've gone back 6 generations. We are finding out where my family descended from in West Africa. I have found out and realized now that I am a mix of ethnicities and tribes that reign from West Africa that my family would have never known about. I found uncles that were freed and part of the Freedmen's Projects. I found Civil War veterans and heroes. I found superheroes. So what I do is I encourage you to be inquisitive about who you are, because this is a big deal. Your ancestry is not just your past. It's part of who you are. It's part of what creates your story. And I challenge you to go out and find it.